We're Modestep, you're watching Berlin Music TV. Big up!
Wir sind hier, Berlin Music TV, bei Modestep, Backstage vor dem Auftritt im Prinz Charles. Hi guys.
Alright. How you doing?
How you doing? It's just 2 months after your last gig here in Berlin at the club Gretchen. What can you tell us about this spontaneous tour right now?
It's cool. It kind of came up last minute. And yeah, it's great to kind of collaborate with something we're not used to doing, something more on the fashion side of things. It's cool. Yeah, it should be really interesting, this first show tonight, so we'll see how well it goes.
Okay. As I mentioned 2 months before, you were here at Gretchen. How was the crowd for you? How did you remember them?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. We had a really fun time playing. It was cool as well because we actually got to play some sort of different styles of music. We weren't just sort of just going out there and just playing dubstep or anything. We sort of threw in a lot of different electronic stuff, and everyone seemed to react really well to it. So it was awesome to play here. There's a lot of culture. People know their music, so we always enjoy playing out here.
Okay, it's tonight just a DJ gig. I'm quite sure the Berlin audience would love to see you guys live. I bet it's also kind of a little bit more fun to play live with your band, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure next year Berlin will definitely be on the touring schedule, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Even if Nick and Matthew aren't always with you playing, how much are the 2 guys involved in your production process?
Well, yeah, I mean, Nick's sort of really heavily involved. We actually just started writing album 2. We started yesterday on our first track. And yeah, Nick's in the studio with us, helping out loads. And, he always comes up with sort of great guitar riffs and bass riffs and, something that we can sort of work our tunes around. So Nick's become sort of an integral part, really, of the writing process. And really looking forward to sort of just getting album 2 together and getting it out there.
Your actually first album was released earlier this year. How happy were you with the reception by the fans?
Yeah, it went down a lot better than I think maybe it should have, to be honest. It was quite rushed, although I get told off for saying that all the time. But I wasn't 100% happy with it when it went out.
Why?
Just didn't have enough time. Like we had a lot of pressure on us from a record label to get it finished, and we're just going to make sure that doesn't happen at all with the second album. So yeah, I think the second album, is going to define us a lot more as what we intended to begin with to be like, if that's even a sentence. Yeah.
You both have been DJing before Modestep even existed. Do you remember your influences that you had in DJing this time before Modestep?
Yeah, I mean, I've been DJing since I was 13. I got my first pair of decks when I was 13. Some Gemini belt drive turntables. And yeah, I used to DJ a lot of garage, which was sort of really, really big in the UK at that time. So yeah, some of my influences from that side of things would be Todd Edwards is a massive influence of mine. He was then and he still is. We were lucky enough to actually get a track remixed of ours by him, which was incredible. MJ Cole, who also did a remix of one of our tracks. And people just like Cole Tough Enough Brown, massive fans of Tough Jam. Yeah, just basically all the sort of old school garage guys really got me into it. EZ is also a massive influence as well. Yeah.
How about you?
Pretty much the same. I was a little bit younger, but kind of into the same music. But yeah, as far as like the DJing stuff is concerned, I think now I'm more influenced by people like Noisia and the more kind of electronic side of things, I think.
Do you guys remember the moment when you made the decision to start Modestep, to start a project?
Yeah. I think we both kind of fell in love with dubstep just separately, and I think I was working on various different projects at the time, and I think Tony just came in one day and went, should we just make a dubstep tune? We'd never we'd made like music together when we were really young, but I don't think we'd ever really collaborated on anything before, like as brothers, and then yeah, we just made it for fun and put it out there, and now we're here.
Besides your own music, your tracks got a lot of remix by famous artists, producers like Zomboy, Document One, X-Core. Is there any remix that was kind of very special to you?
Yeah, well, the Todd Edwards remix and the MJ Cole remix again also, but I think one that sort of really hit the nail on the head was the Break the Noise and Autobots remix of To the Stars. Those guys were relatively unheard of, but we sort of, we'd been following them for a long time and been friendly with them for a long time. And we've been sending them a lot of projects in the past, but when they got their hands on those stems and sent us back, we knew that we had something special there. And I think that really sort of took us to another side of the market that we weren't actually in. And when it went up on UKF, I think it got like 1 million hits overnight or something like that. I mean, it was really, really special. So I think that's always going to be something that, that sort of defined us a little bit more.
When we take a look outside, we see this awful kind of weather, which you might be more used to, like we are. Yeah, we can definitely see the summer's over, and with the summer, the festival season also. Is there any festival that you played at? Because you played at a lot of festivals like Ultra Festival and Coachella and Rock am Ring. And is there any festival that was especially memorable for you? What is the most memorable festival for you?
I think Rock am Ring might be one of the most memorable. Like, we played on the smallest stage. There's 3 stages there. Played on the smallest stage. I think the people before us, there was just maybe 200 people there. For them, we were just thinking, all right, this is just going to be a small show and we'll just get it done. And there must have been 10 to 20,000 people spilling all the way back to the main stage, turning around, looking at our stage, and we're just like, that was a real shock. And we looked to the side of the stage, and Korn were watching the entire show and came up to us at the end and shook our hands and said it was amazing. And it really took us all by surprise. That was an amazing show for me.
I think some German festival visitors were kind of sad because you had to cancel your gig at the Sonne, Mond, Sterne festival. What happened there?
That's a good question. One I don't actually know the answer to. So if it was on our tour, I think maybe Josh was ill at that point. So we might have had to have cancelled that one, but
I'm not sure which festival.
Exactly which
no,
one
not really.
But the only do you know what? We've only ever cancelled a handful of shows in our whole career, and they've always been down to being so ill that I remember Josh was so ill on the tour that he couldn't even get out of bed. I mean, he couldn't even walk. So, I mean, we don't cancel a lot of shows, and we really try to never do it. And even if we're all sort of ill and feeling shit, I mean, even now I'm sort of flued up and don't feel great, but we always put the effort in and try and make it work. So, yeah, I'm guessing it's something that must have been big enough for us to have to pull that show.
I'm not quite sure if it's true what I read on the internet page of the festival. It said that you had to cancel the show for the opportunity to visit a festival in Japan or something. Is that true?
That could be it.
Yeah.
I don't know though. That's never come to us. No idea. But yeah, we did go to Japan, so it could have been.
I don't think we cancelled anything to go there though. I don't know.
So it wasn't your decision?
Well, we wouldn't let that happen.
Nah, I think that kind of stuff is usually down to our booking agent, so we can tell him off if you want instead. Bad friend.
You already mentioned that there is a second album coming up that you're already working on.
Yeah.
When can we expect that?
When it's finished.
When do you think it is finished? How much time will you need?
I think it will be finished around March time, so somewhere near there.
March?
No, that's not when that's when it'll be finished, so I don't know when it will get to the public.
Mid next year, I think, will be a good time to call it. We don't like really saying because of what happened last time, so yeah, just when it's ready, I guess. But hopefully next year. Okay.
Then we're all looking forward to the next album.
Me too.
Take your time to make it perfect as you would like to have it. And yeah, that's it for our interview. I hope you have a lot of fun here at the Prince Charles, and I hope Berlin will see you guys live at the next year.
Hope so too.
Okay, wonderful. Das war Modestep bei uns im Interview. Wenn ihr noch mehr über die Jungs erfahren wollt oder die Berliner Musikszene, dann besucht uns mal auf www.berlinmusic.tv und besucht uns auf Facebook und lasst uns da ein Like. Macht's gut.